Ever get that nagging feeling, that someone around you has feelings for you, but maybe they haven't actually said anything?
Oh, definitely. It's a really common experience, I think.
It's a funny thing, isn't it? This sort of silent love, it leaves traces,
Hmm.
but we often just, well, miss them
Yeah.
completely.
Totally. And stats are pretty wild. Something like, what, 90% of people with secret feelings never confess?
90%. Yeah, that's staggering. Think of all those missed connections, those potential relationships that just fizzle out.
It really makes you think about all the unspoken stuff happening around us all the time.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're exploring the hidden signs of unspoken affection.
And we're looking at this through the lens of Carl Jung, right? His work on repressed emotions is so relevant here.
Exactly. Jung was a giant in psychology, really dug into how hidden feelings pop up in unexpected ways. We've looked at his work and some other research too, and pulled out 13 key signs.
13 signs. Okay.
Yeah. And the last one, sign 13, actually offers a little insight into maybe, moving things forward. If you do recognize these signs in someone and you're interested,
Ah, so it's not just about spotting it, but maybe doing something about it.
potentially, yeah. Because missing these signs,
Hmm.
you could genuinely be overlooking a life-changing connection.
It's fascinating because Jung really emphasized the unconscious. These signs aren't usually things people decide to show, they just leak out.
Right, involuntary tells. So just think for a second. Have you ever noticed someone maybe admiring you, but like really noticing the small things,
Mm.
things others wouldn't pick up on? Or maybe the opposite, someone teases you a lot, but it never feels actually mean and they always stick around.
Yeah, that kind of playful antagonism.
Exactly. These aren't just
Real.
random quirks.
Yeah.
They could mean something. And that brings us to our first sign, straight from Jung, psychological projection.
Projection, yeah. Such a core concept. It's essentially when we uh, unconsciously dump our own unacknowledged feelings onto somebody else.
Okay, so how does that look with silent affection?
Well, it can show up in a couple of main ways.
Let's break that down. So the first way is idealization. Is that right?
Exactly. Idealization, putting someone on a pedestal.
So they're praising tiny details, like your personality, sure, but maybe even your opinions or your smile.
Or even super minor things like how you hold your coffee cup or the way you adjust your glasses, things most people wouldn't even register.
Wow. So it's like they see this perfect version of you.
Kind of. It's often about projecting their own positive feelings or maybe even qualities they admire or wish they had onto you. They see these little things as wonderful because it resonates with something inside them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But projection can also go the other way, right? Like not admiration, but something else.
Yeah, the second manifestation is what you might call unexpected behaviors. It seems almost contradictory.
Like teasing, or always disagreeing, but for no real reason. Or those little jokes that always seem to be about you.
Precisely. It can feel confusing, almost like they don't like you.
So why would they do that?
It can be an unconscious strategy to get your attention, to create some kind of dynamic, some connection without the vulnerability of admitting actual warm feelings. It's engagement, even if it's a bit prickly.
Hmm. Keep you close, but at arm's length.
Sort of, yeah. And related to this, another subtle thing. Have you noticed someone talking about you when you're not there?
Oh. Like what?
Maybe they start using phrases you use, or suddenly get interested in your hobbies, or just your name pops up in their conversations more than you'd expect.
Like the feeling is just seeping out into their everyday life.
Exactly. The subconscious finds these little outlets. It suggests you're on their mind. Quite a lot, actually.
Okay, so the first big takeaway then is, if someone treats you noticeably differently, either way over the top with praise for small things, or maybe through this persistent but kind of gentle teasing it, could be a sign.
Yeah, that differential treatment is often the key. How they are with you versus everyone else. Does anyone spring to mind when you think about that?
It definitely makes you think. Okay, let's get into sign number 2. Conflicting gestures.
Ah, push-pull.
Yeah. Have you ever seen someone who seems totally torn? Like one minute they're really trying to be close, really engaged, and the next, poof, distant, unavailable.
Hmm. This lines up really well with attachment theory, actually, specifically what they call an ambivalent attachment style.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically wanting connection, like really craving it, but being terrified of rejection at the same time, so that internal conflict plays out externally.
Wanting to be close, but scared of getting hurt if they get too close.
Exactly. And Jung would say that strong repressed emotions often manifest erratically like this, that desire is there, but so is the fear. So you get the cycle: lean in, freak out, pull back.
And they pull back physically or just emotionally.
Could be either suddenly busy, canceling plans, or just becoming kind of cold or withdrawn in conversation.
But the key is that this distancing is mainly towards you, right?
Hmm.
Not just their general personality.
That's a crucial distinction, yeah. And if they pull away, but then keep coming back, keep seeking contact again, that suggests the underlying feeling hasn't gone away. It's just reorganizing itself.
The feeling persists, but the fear makes them retreat temporarily.
Right. That cycle is a strong indicator because it points to an inner struggle specifically related to their feelings for you.
So this whole coming and going thing, this hot and cold behavior,
Yeah.
it could actually be a really confusing way of saying, I like you.
It could, yeah. Without the risk of actually saying it. It's like they're dipping a toe in the water, then pulling it back, then trying again.
Yeah.
Testing the temperature.
Huh. Okay, let's move to sign 3. This one feels a bit warmer. Subtle acts of service.
Ah, yes. The quiet gestures.
Yeah, not big flashy things, but those small, often unnoticed actions someone takes to just make your life a little easier or nicer.
It's very telling, I think. Silent affection often speaks through actions, not words. Little thoughtful things.
Like you come home totally wiped out, and maybe someone's just quietly done a chore you hate without you asking.
Or a colleague sees you're swamped and just pitches in on a task. No fuss, no expectation of thanks.
Or that friend who always remembers exactly how you take your coffee and just appears with it.
Or someone who just seems to anticipate problems for you or notices you're feeling down even when you're trying to hide it.
So Jung's idea here would be that if words fail or are too scary, the emotion finds another route, like through doing things.
Precisely. The repressed emotion gets channeled into action. It comes out as these small, unseen acts of care, driven by genuine concern, not obligation.
And the key thing is they often don't want recognition for it, right?
That's a really important point. They're not doing it for praise. Often it's done so quietly you might barely notice. The lack of needing acknowledgement suggests a deeper motive.
So if someone's consistently, quietly looking out for your comfort, smoothing your path in these small ways, that could be their nonverbal way of saying, I care.
It absolutely could. It shows affection isn't just words, it's about showing up, practically, in someone's life.
Okay, sign number 4 takes us into slightly stranger territory. Significant coincidences.
Ah, synchronicity.
Yeah. Have you ever felt like someone just keeps appearing in your life? Maybe in unexpected places? Or conversations just flow incredibly easily. These little chance meetings keep happening.
This taps right into Jung's concept of synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that feel like more than just random chance.
So in silent love, these synchronicities might feel significant.
They can, yeah. It's as if there's some kind of invisible thread connecting you.
Like thinking about them and suddenly you get a text.
Exactly. Or bumping into them in a place you wouldn't expect, or discovering you share all these weirdly specific interests or background stories.
For Jung thought these weren't just random.
He suggested they could point to a deeper connection, maybe operating on that collective unconscious level. Or perhaps less mystically, the person is unconsciously trying to be near you or engaging with things they know you care about, which increases the odds of these encounters.
And what about the feeling, the energy when you're together?
That's important too. Even if nothing's said, there might be this palpable energy. A sort of mix of comfort and maybe a little restlessness, like something unsaid is hanging in the air.
Yeah, or those silences that feel really loaded. Or glances that maybe last just a fraction too long.
That feeling that there's definitely something going on beneath the surface.
Okay, so if someone keeps popping up at the right moments, if the coincidences feel a bit too frequent, and the connection just feels strong, unusually strong.
It might be the universe, or maybe just their subconscious trying to point something out that you're both hesitant to actually say.
Interesting. Okay, sign 5 is maybe more concrete.
Yeah.
Unconscious body language.
Ah, the nonverbal tells. Our bodies often betray us, don't they?
They really do. Even if someone's trying hard to play it cool, their body language can give the game away.
Absolutely. And these signals are powerful because they're often really hard to consciously control. They come straight from the subconscious.
So what are we looking for? The classic stuff, like looking at you, then quickly looking away when you notice.
That's a big one, yeah. The sustained gaze followed by the quick dart away. Or unconsciously leaning in when you speak.
Like they're physically drawn towards you.
Exactly. It suggests interest and a desire for closeness.
What else? Maybe changes in their voice? Nervousness?
Could be a slightly higher pitch, or maybe a softer tone just for you. That quick, involuntary smile that just appears when they see you.
Oh yeah, the Duchenne smile.
Mm.
The genuine one that reaches the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Or fidgeting, adjusting hair, clothes when you're near. Even seemingly accidental touches like brushing arms can sometimes be significant if they happen consistently.
And Jung's take was that the body basically can't lie.
Pretty much. He believed the unconscious always finds a way to manifest physically. So even if feelings are hidden, the body will express them somehow.
So if someone just acts differently around you physically,
Yeah.
and their eyes seem to say more than their words.
It could be a pretty clear indicator that silent affection is in the air. Genuine feelings tend to bubble up, even in tiny gestures.
Okay, sign 6 is an interesting one. Name dropping.
Mm-hmm. Hearing your name pop up unexpectedly.
Yeah. Have you noticed someone mentioning your name in conversation? Maybe when it doesn't seem totally relevant. Or you hear from others that they talk about you.
It taps into how our subconscious can subtly influence our speech. Jung looked at this, how things we're not consciously focused on can still slip out.
So with silent affection, the person's name might just escape, like an echo from their thoughts.
Exactly. It might just slip out unintentionally. And notice how they say your name, too.
How do you mean?
Is there a different tone, a softer quality, a slight emphasis, maybe even a tiny pause right before they say it, as if the name itself carries a little extra weight for them?
Huh. Never thought about the way someone says your name.
It can be subtle, but telling. And also, listen to their stories. Do you feature in them even when the story isn't really about you?
Like they find ways to bring you into the narrative.
Yeah. It suggests you occupy a significant place in their mental landscape. We naturally talk about things and people that are important to us, sometimes without realizing how often we do it.
Okay, so if your name seems to be on someone's lips surprisingly often, or if there's just that little something in their voice when they say it.
It could mean that silent affection is a bit louder than they think. It's hard to completely muzzle strong feelings.
Right. Okay, sign 7 delves into slightly trickier territory, hidden discomfort or jealousy.
Yeah, this isn't about big dramatic outbursts, but those subtle little signs.
Like when you're talking about someone else, maybe enthusiastically or mentioning interacting with others.
Exactly. Someone with secret feelings might inadvertently show tiny flickers of unease. Not anger, but maybe just a subtle reaction.
So what does that look like? They get quiet?
Could be. They might withdraw slightly, become less talkative, or maybe they make a joke that feels a little pointed. Gently downplaying the other person, perhaps.
Like a subtle jab hidden in humor.
Sometimes it's about that underlying tension. Remember, repressed emotions don't disappear, they just pop up unexpectedly. Jealousy, even mild, might show in body language too. Crossed arms, avoiding eye contact, a shift in tone.
And might they try to subtly pull the focus back to themselves?
That happens too. Changing the subject, maybe highlighting one of their own accomplishments, subtly trying to remind you of their own value. It's often unconscious competition.
The crucial thing here, I guess, is that this subtle discomfort is actually a strong sign, because you wouldn't feel it about someone you were indifferent to.
Precisely. That little flicker of unease, that slight possessiveness, however minor it means you matter to them, your interactions with others trigger something in them.
So pay attention to those seemingly random little reactions when you mention other people.
They could be reflecting an unacknowledged feeling. It's about reading between the lines of their reactions.
Okay, sign number 8. This one feels a bit different. Dreams.
Ah, yes. The subconscious speaking while we sleep.
Have you ever just kept dreaming about someone, like repeatedly, for no obvious reason, and you wake up feeling their presence, even if you haven't seen them recently?
It's interesting. Culturally, there's often that belief. Dreaming of someone means they're thinking intensely about you. Science is still figuring dreams out, but it's maybe not just coincidence.
And Jung, again, had his ideas here with the collective unconscious, right? This sort of invisible field connecting us.
He did. He believed this shared reservoir of symbols and emotions could allow for connections beyond our conscious understanding. So, potentially, strong feelings directed at you could somehow transmit or resonate and appear in your dreams.
Wow, like silent love finding a pathway through the unconscious.
It's a fascinating possibility. And even if you don't buy into the collective unconscious, some research looks at brain waves, energy resonance. The idea that intense thought focused on someone might create a subtle, energetic link.
So it's not necessarily woo-woo. There could be some subtle energetic thing happening.
It's speculative, but the idea's there. The key thing about these dreams often isn't a clear plot, like a romantic movie scene.
Right. More about the feeling.
Exactly. The feeling, the emotion, just the sense of their presence, and crucially, how you feel when you wake up. That emotional residue is often the most telling part.
So if someone keeps showing up in your dreams, and there's no obvious day residue reason for it,
It could suggest a connection operating beneath the surface. Perhaps the purest form of silent love, an invisible thread felt in the quiet of the night.
okay, food for thought there. Let's move to sign 9. Unconscious mirroring.
Ah, the chameleon effect.
Yeah. Have you noticed someone subtly starting to act like you? Maybe using your typical phrases or adopting some of your mannerisms or habits?
It's a well-documented psychological phenomenon. Our brains have these mirror neurons. When we like someone or feel connected, we often unconsciously start mimicking them.
Why do we do that?
It's a way to build rapport, create connection, signal empathy. It's like saying, I'm like you, I understand you, without words.
And Jung would link this back to that subconscious connection again, that we naturally align with people who impact us emotionally.
Yes, he saw mimicry as a fundamental way we connect and show affiliation, often driven by that subconscious desire to bond with those who resonate with us emotionally.
And the key is, we don't do this with everyone, right? It's selective.
Very selective. So if someone specifically starts mirroring your posture when you talk, or fixes their hair like you do, or repeats your unique expressions back to you,
It's probably not conscious imitation, but their subconscious trying to bridge the gap.
that's the idea. Their system is trying to sync up with yours because of that underlying feeling.
And it's not just physical stuff, it can be deeper.
Absolutely. It can extend to preferences, opinions. Suddenly they like that band you love, or they start agreeing with your viewpoints more often, even shifting their perspective closer to yours.
Wow. So it's like they're absorbing parts of you.
In a way, yes. It shows you're having a significant influence on them, likely rooted in that unspoken affection.
So pay attention if someone starts acting like your echo. Silent love might be reflecting you back.
Exactly. It's a subtle but potentially powerful sign of connection.
Okay, sign 10 is about hiding the mask, or what Jung called the persona.
Right, the face we present to the world.
Not everyone handles strong feelings well, right? And if you like someone but don't know if they like you back, that's scary. So people might put up a wall.
Absolutely. Fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection. It can lead to building this unconscious protective barrier, this persona.
And what does that mask look like in silent affection?
It can take different forms. Sometimes it's aloofness, acting distant or uninterested. Sometimes it's the opposite, being excessively jokey, using humor constantly to deflect anything serious.
Or just pretending not to care at all. Indifference.
Indifference can be a very effective mask. It's all about hiding the true feelings underneath. Jung saw the persona as necessary for navigating society, but it can definitely be used to conceal deeper emotions, especially vulnerable ones like affection.
So have you noticed someone who seems like a different person around you compared to others? Maybe they become the life of the party, cracking jokes constantly, specifically to avoid deeper conversation with you?
Or the opposite, they seem perfectly composed, almost cold or calculated, when inside they might be feeling quite intensely.
That inconsistency is key again, isn't it?
It really is. Someone might be warm and engaged 1 minute, then suddenly pull back behind the mask the next, as an unconscious way to control those feelings that feel too risky to show.
And things like sarcasm, irony, even teasing can be part of this mask too.
Definitely. They can all be used to create distance, to avoid that raw, vulnerable state of sharing genuine affection.
So if someone seems to be consistently hiding behind a certain facade around you, whether it's humor, coolness, whatever, it could be a sign that what's underneath is much deeper.
It encourages us to look past the performance sometimes and wonder what feelings might be prompting the need for such strong defense.
Okay, sign 11 feels a bit like game playing, but maybe unintentional. Small tests.
Little probes to gauge your reaction.
So the idea is, if someone likes you but can't admit it, their subconscious might set up little situations to see how you respond without them having to risk rejection directly.
Exactly. It's often unconscious, driven by that need for validation or information about where they stand, but without the emotional exposure of asking directly.
So what kind of tests are we talking about?
Maybe light teasing, specifically designed to see if you blush or get flustered, or asking your opinion on relationships, what you look for, your views on loyalty, hypothetical scenarios.
Fishing for information about your relationship status or desires.
Could be. Sometimes people might even mention a fictional romantic interest of their own just to see if you react with even a hint of jealousy.
Whoa, really? That feels a bit manipulative.
It can seem that way, but often it's not consciously malicious. Remember Jung's idea the subconscious is always seeking signals. These tests are ways to gather data, to see if there's a green light, however faint.
So it's about seeing if you might reciprocate without them having to put their heart on the line.
Pretty much. Other forms could be playful banter that skirts the edge of flirting, indirect compliments, jokes about what a good couple you'd make, things designed to provoke some kind of reaction.
Okay, so if someone seems to be frequently creating these little scenarios to watch you, asking indirect relationship questions, or teasing in a way that feels like it has an ulterior motive.
It could be a clear sign that silent love is there, just waiting for some signal from you before it dares to step into the light.
Makes sense. All right, sign 12. This feels important. Consistent presence in vulnerable moments.
Yes, this isn't about loud declarations, but quiet, steady support.
We said affection isn't always loud, right? Sometimes it's just there,
Oh,
powerfully but subtly.
exactly. It's about showing up when it really counts.
So have you noticed someone who just reliably appears when you're going through a tough time? Not making a big show, but just being there.
Like a colleague who just knows you're having a bad day and offers quiet help. Or that friend who's always ready with comfort, without you even having to ask.
Or someone who just tries to quietly lift your spirits or ease your worries.
Jung talked about those invisible connections, that pull between people. When someone cares deeply, even silently, it can manifest as this almost protective instinct.
A desire to be near you when you're down, even if they can't say why.
Precisely. It comes out in those small acts of genuine care, the thoughtful question, the word of encouragement when you're doubting yourself, the unnoticed kindness.
And the key here is consistency, right? And maybe them noticing things others miss, differentiating it from just politeness or obligation.
That's crucial. Is this person consistently your quiet support? Do they have a knack for knowing when you need it? That points towards something deeper than just being nice.
So love isn't always declared. Sometimes it hides in those moments when someone chooses to stand by you, maybe even before you know you need them.
It's a profound, often unspoken form of care.
Okay, we've reached the final sign, number 13, and this one. It's about you, your own intuition.
Trusting your gut.
Yeah. We try to be logical to find evidence, but sometimes you just know, don't you? Have you ever had that unwavering feeling that someone likes you, even if you can't point to a single concrete reason?
Jung placed huge value on intuition. He saw it as a form of deep, direct knowing, bypassing logic, connected straight to the subconscious.
So even before your brain pieces together the leaning in, the name dropping, the coincidences, your intuition might already be sensing the overall energy.
Exactly. We're incredibly sensitive creatures, subconsciously picking up on tiny cues, micro-expressions, shifts in tone, breathing patterns, the overall vibe.
Our subconscious puts it all together before our conscious mind does.
Often, yes. It recognizes the pattern, the underlying emotional current, and delivers it as that gut feeling, that sense of certainty.
So if you just have that feeling deep down, if you sense something in how someone treats you, if the connection feels bigger than words,
Pay attention to that. Trust that inner knowing. It might be recognizing truths your logical mind is still trying to assemble evidence for.
because silent love hides in all these subtle ways, but ultimately, maybe we do know when it's there.
Your intuition could absolutely be picking up on the energy, the subtle signals, the unspoken feelings the other person hasn't dared to voice.
So if you feel it, maybe you're right. Maybe your intuition is recognizing what their heart is trying to say silently.
It's a powerful reminder to listen to ourselves, to trust that inner wisdom, especially in matters of human connection.
Wow. Okay, so that's 13 signs. It really shows how unspoken affection, the silent love, it's this whole complex, profound thing hiding in plain sight in tiny details and feelings.
It really does. It highlights the nuances, the subtleties, and how we connect, often beyond just words.
So the big question for you, listening now, is what do you do with these signs if you recognize them?
It's a crossroads, isn't it?
Yeah. Ignoring them might mean missing something real, but I don't know, just knowing and doing nothing could lead to frustration too. Is it worth keeping things silent forever?
It really puts the ball in your court, in a way. Recognizing the signs gives you a choice.
So if you do see these signs in someone,
Hmm.
maybe it's about looking a bit closer, maybe risking a slightly more sincere conversation.
Or offering a slightly more direct gesture yourself. Sometimes just creating a safe, non-judgmental space can be enough for the other person to feel they can speak.
Yeah, making it feel safe for them to maybe drop the mask or stop the tests.
Exactly. Lowering the perceived risk for them.
Because, well, love, affection, whatever you call it, it's meant to be lived, right?
Yeah.
Not just felt silently or imagined.
That's the heart of it, I think. These feelings exist whether spoken or not, but connection thrives when it's acknowledged.
And genuine feelings, they do tend to find a way out eventually.
Or they often do. Recognizing these signs might just be speeding up that process or helping it along.
So maybe the final thought is, be brave. Be brave enough to see what might be hidden. Don't let fear or uncertainty block a potentially amazing connection.
Take a chance. Maybe step outside that comfort zone. Because love, silent or spoken, really does deserve a chance to be lived.
It really does. Well, thank you so much for taking this deep dive with us into silent affection. We really hope these insights help you notice and maybe appreciate the subtle connections playing out in your own life.
Yeah, wishing you all the best love, peace, sincerity in your relationships. Trust your gut. Stay open. Affection has a funny way of making itself known.
It really does. Thanks for listening.